Welcome, everyone. Today, we're diving deep into a concept that might shock you, the idea that Earth could actually be hell. No, we're not talking about fiery pits, pitchforks, or demons lurking around every corner. Instead, we're exploring the theory that the struggles, challenges, and hardships of this world could mean we're living in a version of hell right here on Earth. This idea isn't as outlandish as it sounds. So stay tuned as we break down why this world could be the true hell in ways that might surprise you. Imagine this. You've heard the classic idea of hell, a place deep beneath the earth, where flames rage endlessly and the souls of the damned suffer for eternity. But what if I told you we're already there? According to ancient texts, hidden doctrines, and even subtle clues in the Bible, Earth might not be the paradise we think it is. Instead, it's described as a cleverly disguised prison, a realm of suffering meant to keep us trapped. This isn't some fringe theory. It's an idea that's been silenced, erased, and tucked away by mainstream teachings. But if you look closely enough, the evidence is there. Consider ancient works like the Book of Enoch, a text banned from the Bible that paints Earth not as a place of peace, but as a realm of exile. This isn't the idyllic creation we imagine from Genesis. Instead, it's described as a place where rebellious beings fell from grace, creating a space where they would endure punishment. In the Book of Enoch, these rebellious angels, known as the Watchers, descended to Earth, took human wives, and revealed forbidden knowledge to humanity, setting them on a path to ruin. As a consequence, the Watchers were bound to this realm. And here's the kicker. We're here too, inhabiting the same cursed space, living in what might just be our very own hell. Our lives are steeped in suffering, toil, and endless struggle. But have you ever wondered why? We often hear Earth referred to as a fallen world, a phrase that's usually brushed off as mere poetry. But fallen from what? And where have we truly fallen to? The Gnostic texts, another set of ancient writings that were banned and branded as heretical, provide a haunting answer. According to these texts, Earth wasn't created by the benevolent, all-powerful God we imagine. Instead, it was shaped by a rogue, lower deity known as the Demiurge. Far from the wise, loving creator, this Demiurge is flawed, controlling, and even cruel. He fashioned our physical world to ensnare souls in an endless cycle of pain, ignorance, and separation from the true divine source. In this view, Earth isn't just an unfortunate place to live. It's a deliberate design, a cosmic trap, a twisted form of hell where souls are kept blind to their true origins, lost in a cycle of suffering. And if Earth is a prison, what does that make us? Prisoners, souls in captivity. Look around. Every joy seems fleeting, every peace disturbed, every life destined for decay and death. No one leaves unscarred. In this paradise, suffering isn't just an accident. It's woven into the very fabric of life. Hunger, disease, and loss are not exceptions here. They're guaranteed. Disasters, suffering, endless struggles. Ever notice how they feel less like flaws in the system and more like intentional features? Yet, we're constantly told to wait for salvation, to trust that our suffering has a higher purpose. But what if that narrative is just another part of the trap? A way to keep us complacent and obedient, while life after life, our souls are drained by this world. Ancient hidden doctrines suggest we're stuck in a rigged game, a game designed to keep us from discovering our true potential, our real spiritual home. We're so consumed by the daily grind, so preoccupied with survival, that we rarely pause to ask why suffering is the universal condition here. Ever wonder why paradise always seems just out of reach, no matter how hard we try? The game is set up to keep us blind to our origins, struggling just to survive while being told we must earn our way into heaven. But here's the darker reality. Maybe we're already in hell, a very well-disguised one. Who benefits from this setup? According to these ancient narratives, it's not a God of love, but a God of control, a figure who thrives on the ignorance, pain, and suffering of those trapped here. And the strangest part? Mainstream doctrines have played right into this, keeping us from asking the questions that could lead us out of the darkness. Everything possible was done to keep this idea locked away, branding it heresy, banning texts that dared to unveil it. Even the early church, the institution claiming to free us from sin, may have hidden the very truth that could liberate our souls. Now, let's take a new look at a story we all think we know: Adam and Eve, Paradise Lost, the beginning of humanity's exile. We're told they were expelled from Eden and sent down to earth. But according to some ancient apocryphal texts, the story takes a much darker turn. This expulsion wasn't just a mythic punishment, it was a brutal sentence, a one-way ticket into a world filled with sorrow, pain, and mortality. Earth itself is depicted as a prison realm, where humanity would forever bear the weight of original sin. Traditional teachings make it sound like Earth is merely a stopover, a temporary place of separation before we find redemption. But in these suppressed texts, Eden wasn't just a paradise lost, it was the only paradise we were ever meant to experience. Once humanity was cast out, there was no return, no easy path back. They weren't merely sent away, they were condemned. Imagine a world designed not as a neutral stage for human life, but as a place built to reflect punishment, a realm already tainted, broken, and corrupt. Ancient texts suggest that Earth isn't just somewhere we happen to live. It's a cursed landscape where suffering is inevitable. Here, every moment of joy is overshadowed by equal, if not greater, sorrow. Adam and Eve weren't just banished. They were sent to a world with suffering woven into its fabric. Pain, labor, and death became part of everyday existence, constant reminders of their fall. Some of these ancient sources imply that Adam's punishment wasn't merely physical exile, but also a severing of his connection with divine wisdom, a kind of spiritual amnesia that trapped humanity in ignorance. Earth, then, became a land of forgetfulness, a place where humanity would toil endlessly, disconnected from its true origins, unable to remember what had been lost. Think about that for a moment. The concept of paradise lost goes far beyond the loss of a garden. It's the loss of an entire state of being, a spiritual home that humanity would never fully experience again. In these apocryphal texts, Earth is painted as the opposite of Eden, a stark, unforgiving realm designed to ensure we never forget what was lost. In Eden, there was no time. On Earth, everything is marked by decay. Eden was boundless. Earth is defined by limitations. This isn't just a simple fall from grace. It's a plunge into a realm where humans are locked into an endless cycle of life and death, a loop from which there seems to be no escape. Here's the real twist. Some of these banned texts suggest that Adam's exile was meant to make him forget. Forget what true freedom and real connection with the divine felt like. As humanity multiplied, generation after generation, we inherited not only Adam's punishment, but his amnesia, his distance from divine truth. Our world is a constant, grinding reminder of that exile, a place where each day echoes what we once had and likely lost forever. And here's where it gets even darker. What if hell isn't some fiery pit awaiting us in the afterlife, but the very reality we're living in right now? And what if the idea of hell after death is just a carefully crafted illusion, a tool to keep us in line, obedient and distracted from the brutal truth that we're already in hell? Right here, right now, what if we're already in hell? Some ancient mystical teachings and banned texts suggest that the idea of hell as a place you go after you die is just a psychological trap. Think about it. Keep people terrified of a vague punishment in some other realm, and they'll spend their lives trying to avoid it. But what if the real punishment is happening here on Earth? This existence, filled with struggle, suffering, and endless cycles of birth and death, what if this is the hell we've been warned about? The fear of flames after death could be nothing more than a trick to stop us from questioning the reality right in front of us. By dangling the threat of a future hell over our heads, ancient powers and institutions have kept humanity in a constant state of anxiety, always striving for redemption, always living with guilt, always fearing what comes next. Meanwhile, we're taught to accept the suffering and limitations of this world as just the way life is. The rules, the restrictions, the pain all go unquestioned, unexamined. The entire system is set up so that we're too busy fearing hell to realize we might already be living in it. This perspective changes everything. What if the hardships we face aren't just life, but life in a place designed to keep us from ever finding peace? What if the struggles we face aren't just random hardships, but deliberately designed to keep us subdued, suffering, and dependent? Think about it. Every religion, every doctrine lays out its own set of rules, each claiming to help us avoid eternal damnation. But what if those rules aren't about saving our souls at all? What if they're meant to keep us locked in this cycle, bound to this realm? From the daily grind of survival to the looming threat of punishment after death, it all starts to look like a setup to keep us in line. The real horror may not be in what's waiting after we die, but in the deception that makes us believe our suffering now is somehow necessary, somehow justified. By keeping our focus on the fear of future punishment, we're blinded to the real prison we're living in every day. This is the perfect psychological cage, a prison where we police ourselves, striving to avoid a punishment that might not even exist, while the true prison walls surround us here and now. This hidden knowledge, so disruptive, was considered dangerous enough to be erased, banned, or dismissed as heresy. Why? Because if people began to question the concept of hell, they might start questioning the true nature of this world itself. Imagine if people started asking uncomfortable questions about why things are the way they are, and more importantly, who actually benefits from us believing in an afterlife punishment instead of recognizing the suffering of this world for what it might truly be. Here's a detail you won't hear in Sunday school. According to the Book of Enoch, a banned text that delves into the roots of human suffering, the angels who rebelled weren't cast into some distant corner of the universe. They fell right here to earth, and they brought with them something far darker than we've been led to believe. These so-called watchers, angels sent to observe humanity, broke their divine orders. They took human partners, shared forbidden knowledge, and unleashed chaos. This isn't just mythology. It forms the basis of a different understanding of why our world feels so fundamentally twisted. The Book of Enoch reveals that Earth became a sort of purgatory not only for these rebellious beings, but also for their offspring, the Nephilim, and, ultimately, for humanity itself. According to these ancient accounts, our world isn't just a fallen place. It's a realm cursed by beings who disrupted divine order. A place where suffering is not incidental, but woven into the fabric of life itself. What if Earth became a prison not just for the fallen angels, their descendants, but for humanity as well? What does that make us? Are we living in the shadow of their punishment, condemned to exist in a world that bears the weight of their rebellion? According to this forbidden text, the Watchers didn't just cross a line, they redefined our reality. Their forbidden actions tainted the world, making it a place that resonates with their defiance and the consequences of what they did. The fallout, the chaos, the violence, the endless struggle for survival is all a direct result of this cosmic rebellion. The Watchers supposedly taught humanity the arts of warfare, sorcery, even astrology knowledge that was never meant for us. But according to traditional teachings, these weren't gifts to elevate mankind. They were tools of destruction, weapons of division. They didn't bring us wisdom. They dragged us into the chaos they had unleashed. Humanity wasn't raised up. We were tainted, drawn deeper into the consequences of their defiance. This view paints Earth not just as a fallen place, but as a realm forever marked by transgression, a world caught in the eternal fallout of that rebellion. Imagine a world haunted by the presence of beings who were never meant to be here. It's not just that humans suffer. This entire world was transformed into something almost unrecognizable, a reality where darkness and light are constantly in conflict. And the most unsettling part? According to some interpretations, This wasn't an accident. These rebellious beings knowingly altered our reality, pulling us into their twisted existence. Here's the kicker. These watchers, these angels, aren't trapped in some distant dimension. They're bound right here, woven into the very fabric of this world. Their punishment and humanity's suffering are inextricably linked, as if our very existence is shaped by their past sins. The pain we endure isn't just a random part of life. It's their legacy, a constant reminder of a rebellion that rewrote the rules of our reality. What if Earth wasn't created by an all-knowing, benevolent God, but by a flawed, arrogant being, a demiurge? That's right. In ancient Gnostic teachings, Earth and the entire physical universe were supposedly crafted not by the true divine source, but by a lesser, imperfect being with a twisted agenda. The Gnostics didn't see this demiurge as a god of love or light, but as a manipulative force that trapped humanity in a distorted, suffering-filled world. What if the God we think of as a loving creator isn't what we've been led to believe? In Gnostic teachings, the demiurge wasn't a god of love and compassion. Instead, he was a dark architect, a creator obsessed with control, who built this world as a prison to trap human souls. The story goes that this demiurge believed himself to be the ultimate power in the universe, completely blind to the existence of a higher, true, divine source. He craved worship, reverence, and obedience, so he created a reality where he could reign supreme. Earth, in this view, isn't some random cosmic accident or a beautiful, divinely inspired realm. It's a place defined by limitations, suffering, and control, a playground for a creator who cares nothing for human freedom or enlightenment. According to the Gnostics, this demiurge doesn't just control our world, he feeds off our ignorance, thriving on our confusion and despair. He didn't just create the physical world, he meticulously designed it to keep us from ever realizing our true nature. The flesh, the bones, the distractions of life, they're all chains he uses to bind our spirits. Think about the human experience: desire, fear, endless distractions. The Gnostics would argue that's exactly how the demiurge keeps us trapped, keeping us from ever seeing the higher truth. The demiurge wanted our souls so entangled in the material world, so fixated on the here and now, that we'd forget we were ever part of something higher, something truly divine. And it's not just about being trapped physically. The demiurge crafted entire systems, institutions, ideologies, and even religions to reinforce his control. Imagine a system where every doctrine, every rule, every truth we're taught from birth convinces us that this world is all there is and that he is the highest authority. To the Gnostics, the demiurge's influence is everywhere, in every hierarchical structure, every law that limits personal freedom, and every teaching that makes us fear or doubt ourselves. We aren't just bound by our flesh, we are bound by ideas, by beliefs that restrict our understanding of who we truly are. According to Gnostic texts, one of the demiurge's most devious tricks was convincing humanity that all suffering, all evil, all chaos in the world was either our fault or the inevitable nature of existence itself. The demiurge, in essence, is the original gaslighter, making us believe that the pain we endure is either punishment for our sins or simply part of God's plan. If the Gnostic perspective holds any truth, then the real story is much darker than we've been led to believe. We're trapped in a world specifically designed to make us suffer, to keep us small, and to prevent us from ever challenging the demiurge's authority. But why would the demiurge go to such lengths? Simple: power. The Gnostics believed he craved worship, devotion, and absolute submission. And the easiest way to achieve that was by creating a reality where humans couldn't see beyond his control. Welcome to Blessovia Science TV, where we take you on an exhilarating journey through the cosmos and unravel the mysteries of science. We are excited to offer you the opportunity to become a valued member of our ever-growing community of cosmic enthusiasts and knowledge seekers. Exclusive access to cosmic content. As a member of Blessovia Science TV, You will gain exclusive access to a treasure trove of cosmic content, including documentaries, interviews with leading scientists, space missions updates, and awe-inspiring visualizations of the universe, live Q, and sessions with experts. Your membership will grant you the chance to participate in live Q and sessions with renowned scientists, astronomers, and space explorers. Get your burning questions answered by those who push the boundaries of human knowledge. Embark on a journey that spans the cosmos and join us in unraveling the secrets of the universe. Become a Blessovia Science TV member today, and together we will reach for the stars. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, and share. Don't forget to leave your comment.